I stumbled across something that I wanted to bring to your guys' attention, and this had me do some pretty deep digging on a couple things that we don't reference that often. And what this is looking like right now is it looks like a trap. We are actually seeing some hidden divergence take place that I want to bring to your guys' attention, and I want you to formulate an opinion on your own. But I think that this is very important, and a lot of people have missed this. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So right now it's about 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. US money is starting to wake up. We have not had our PCE report yet. I'm sure there will be more news as the day goes on as well, but ADA is sitting at about 71 cents right now. It's looking fairly good. We've continued on a little bit of this bounce that we're seeing. BTC, the overall crypto market, starting to gain just a little bit. And hopefully this is a trend that just continues as the day goes on. But something I didn't get a chance to talk about earlier today, I did some more deep depth analysis. And what I found was that we actually have some hidden bullish divergence taking place. You guys can see bottoms rising on the charts here for ADA on the daily, and you can see RSI bottoms on the drop. That is textbook hidden bullish divergence. It's a big deal. It's led us on some pumps here in the past. We've seen this many times before, but we're not only seeing this just in terms of ADA. We are seeing this in terms of BTC as well. You guys can see bottoms on the rise on the charts for BTC, bottoms on the drop in terms of RSI. Hidden bullish divergence. So what this could in fact be showing us is right now we're in a little bit of a trap where the bears are getting sucked in and people are getting negative right before we extend and get a pop and go on our next leg. This isn't a guarantee or anything like that. And again, I want you guys to formulate an opinion for yourself. And I'll go into this more here in just a moment. But what I wanted to show you guys as well is just so that we can play both sides of the field here. We actually have some bearish divergence taking place in terms of the BTC chart. You guys can see the tops on the rise and the tops on the drop on the RSI on the weekly chart. So it could mean that we potentially have some BTC downside while we have some altcoin upside. All right. ADA does not have bearish divergence on the weekly chart. All right. So that's kind of where we're at from that standpoint. And I wanted to share that with you guys. And this got me digging just a little bit further. And what I found was very interesting is we're still extending on this BTC US 500 chart. And what was very wild about this is I looked back at the past 5 instances now that this has taken place, and we have followed a very similar trend. We've run about 40 to 50% every time versus the US 500. All right. This is about 40% right here. It's technically 38%, about 50%, 50%, 40%. And now we're only about 20% extended from this trend. So we may in fact only be halfway there. Now, just as we were talking about earlier today on the stochastic RSI, we did get a bearish cross on this trend, but what I will point out here is we have actually gotten this taking place several times at about the halfway mark. All right, this took place actually back here. It took place back here. These times were pretty sharp and pretty abrupt to the upside, so we didn't get them then, but we may in fact only be halfway through this pump, which would mean that obviously altcoins have a huge opportunity to take some steps forward here. Not saying that's going to happen for sure, just that's what we're seeing potentially take place in the charts. What I did want to show you guys as well is kind of this gauge of sentiment, because I feel like a lot of people are still very, very bearish, and that's awesome. I would rather have people be overly bearish than overly bullish, because what that means is usually we go opposite the trend, right? If all these people are bearish, we tend to see people accumulating. We tend to see large entities picking up positions, and that's what helps propel us to the upside. And in fact, I wanted to look back at the total market cap of crypto versus that Wall Street cheat sheet, that psychology of a market cycle. And I have not changed this. I've not moved this. And what we're seeing right now is it looks like we're getting ready for the optimism phase. All right. And guys, this tracks every single market cycle. You guys can check this out yourself if you want, but we've escaped the disbelief. This was back in 2023 as we were rising, into the back half of 2023, and we started exploding into hope. Then we got our summer retracement. We kind of went on our surge, just as you see here. We got our drop, and now we're kind of chopping around just like we do, right? We're right before there. I mean, it tracks perfectly. All the metrics are showing we're right before that big explosion in the crypto market. This isn't really new stuff. I think people just forget that some of this stuff is present, right? And again, the players might be different. The events might be different. The black swan events, stuff like that may be slightly different. But what it shows is we're preparing for still a big boom in the crypto market, all right? Now, again, this isn't to guarantee your financial advice, and there's no saying that this has to happen for sure. And this obviously shows a surge to $32 trillion. I'm not saying we're doing that, but understand that we have not gotten into these phases yet. No, sentiment is nowhere near that. And that is what is essential for adoption to take place. That is what helps bring us to new highs in terms of ADA. So anybody complaining about, ADA versus BTC or ADA not hitting a new all-time high yet, it's not surprising. And we've talked about why many times before. And for those that clearly don't listen to my videos, we have not hit a new all-time high because ADA performs its best when adoption is taking place. Adoption has not been happening. ADA, however, has been performing well against the crypto market, especially since we got the big win in November, where we have this now big embrace of crypto here in the US, where we're seeing legislation pushed forward, where we're seeing the overhaul in the SEC. It has been performing much better since that point. And you can complain about ADA in this market cycle overall. It's not surprising it's where it's at. It's tracking what it's done historically speaking. And I don't know how many times I need to say that, but apparently I need to keep repeating it so people can have a reference point when ADA does in fact start taking off. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I appreciate, as always, where do you think we're at in this psychology of a market cycle? Do you think this is a big trap? Are we getting ready for actually some of these big moves ahead? But appreciate you guys. Have a great day. Show your love below. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.